Welcome to day 49, the Space Invaders assignment. We're dealing with systems of equations still, but we're just dealing with the points, no graphing. So if you look, they gave you a system of equations, y equals 2x minus 3 and y equals negative 1 half x plus 2. And they gave you three ordered pairs, three possible solutions. So you are testing each of the points, each of the x, y ordered pairs in each of the equations to see which one is the solution to the system of equations. So I'm going to actually write each of the equations 3 times because I have 3 points to test. So I have y equals 2x minus 3, y equals 2x minus 3, and y equals 2x minus 3. And notice I actually shrunk down the box where the system of equations is and the points, just to give me a little bit more workspace. So then I have y equals negative 1 half x plus 2, and y equals negative 1 half x plus 2, and y equals negative 1 half x plus 2. And I did each of the equations in a different color just to help make them stand out. And let's put a little dashed line in between the workspace. And remember, I'm going to substitute in the x and the y values into both of the equations to see if it makes it a true statement. If it makes it a true statement in each of the equations, then it's the solution to the system. All right, so I'm going to take this equation, y equals 2x minus 3, and I'm going to substitute 5 in for the y and 4 in for the x from this ordered pair here. So when I do the math, I have 5 equals 2 times 4 is 8 minus 3. And if I continue that down, 8 minus 3 is 5. So 5 equals 5. So yes, this point is on line number 1. But it also has to be on line number 2 for it to be the solution to the system. So I'm going to go over to the other equation, and I'm going to put 5 in for y. I have negative 1 half times x, which is 4, plus 2. Well, half of 4 is 2, and a negative times a positive is a negative, so I have negative 2. And I know that negative 2 plus negative 2 is 5. And negative 2 plus 2 is 0, and 5 does not equal 0. So that means no, that although this point for 5 is on the first line, it is not on the second line, so that means it's not the solution to our system. So it's not this point. Nope. All right, so let's check the second point. So the second point was 2, 1. So if I plug in 2, 1, I have y of 1 equals 2 times x of 2 minus 3. 2 times 2 is 4, so I have 4 minus 3 on the right, and 4 minus 3 is 1. So 1 equals 1, so that means yes, the point 2, 1 is on the first line. Well, we had that last time, but it wasn't on the second line. So we have to plug the point 2, 1 into the second equation. So I know that y is 1. I have negative 1 half times x, which is 2, plus 2. So 1 half of 2 is 1, and a negative times a positive is a negative. So I have negative 1 plus 2 on the right, and negative 1 plus 2 is 1. So 1 equals 1. So that means that yes, the point 2, 1 is also on line 2. So it looks like this is going to be the solution to our system because 0.21 is on both lines. However, I just want to make sure, and I'm going to double check I'm going to check the third point just to make sure. Maybe I did some math wrong along the way. So now I'm going to check the point 6, negative 1. So y is negative 1, 2 times 6 minus 3. Well, 2 times 6 is 12. And I know that 12 minus 3 is not negative 1. So negative 1 does not equal 9. So that means no, that the point 6, negative 1 is not on line 1. And now let's just check. So since it's not on line 1, it won't be the solution to our systems, but let me just go through and finish. So if y is negative 1, and then I have negative 1/2 times 6, which is the x, plus 2. Well, half of 6 is 3, and negative times a positive is a negative. So I have negative 3 plus 2. Boy, it just got really quiet. The boiler in my basement was very loud. Negative 3 plus 2 is negative 1. And since negative 1 equals negative 1, that means that, yes, the point 6, negative 1 is on line 2. But it doesn't really matter because it was not on both lines, so it's not the solution to our system. So the solution to our system is the 0.21. So that's what we're looking for, the solution to the system. Okay. If you look on the next slide, I actually already wrote the equations in just to save us a little bit of time. So I'm going to check each of the x and y's in both of the equations. I'm going to check each ordered pair. So change colors. So I'm going to check this xy combination. So 0, negative 4. So I have negative 4 equals 1/4 times 0 plus 1. 1/4 of 0 is 0. And I know that negative 4 is not equal to 1. So that means this point will not be the solution to the system. If I check over here, so I check this XY combination. So if I put 1 in for Y and 0 in for X, I have 1 equals, only have 0 plus 1, 1/4 of 0 is 0. 1 equals 1. So that means, yes, that the 0.01 is on the first line, but I also have to make sure that it's on the second line. So I'm going to plug that in. So 1 equals negative, or the opposite of 0, minus 4. Well, the opposite of 0 is still 0. 0 minus 4 is negative 4. And 1 does not equal negative 4. So that means it's not the solution to the system because that point is only on line 1 and it's not on line 2. So hopefully negative 4, 0 is our winner, but let's just check this x and y. So if I put in 0 for y, and I have 1/4 times negative 4 plus 1. Well, 1/4 of 4 is 1, and a positive times a negative is a negative. So I have negative 1 plus 0. Negative 1 plus 1. Negative 1 plus 1 is 0. And since 0 equals 0, that means that, yes, this point is on line 1. And let's make sure it's on line 2 as well. So y is negative 4. And the opposite, nope. I plugged in my x for my y. All right, y is actually 0. and I have the opposite of x, the opposite of negative 4. So the opposite of negative 4 is positive 4, and 4 minus 4 is actually 0. Since 0 equals 0, that means that yes, this point is also on line 2. So since this point, negative 4, 0, makes both of those equations true, that means that the solution to the system is point negative 4, 0. Okay, let's look at the next one. And again, I already typed in the equations just to save us a little bit of time. So I'm going to substitute in the point negative 5, 1, 5, negative 5, and negative 3, 5 for the x and y's into both of those equations. So if I plug in the first point, 1 equals 2 times negative 5 plus 11. 2 times negative 5 is negative 10. Negative 10 plus 11 is 1. So 1 equals 1, so that works. Over here, 3 times negative 5 is negative 15, plus 5 times 1 is 5, and negative 5 plus 5 does equal negative 10. So that means that since this point works on both equations, this is going to be my solution to my system. And I'll just go through quickly and prove that the other two are not. So here, negative 5 equals 2 times 5 plus 11. 2 times 5 is 10, and 10 plus 11 is not going to be negative, or is not going to be negative 5. So 10 plus 11 is 21, which is not equal to negative 5. The next one, I have 3 times 5, which is 15, plus 5 times negative 5, which is negative 25, and 15 minus 25 is negative 10. So although the point 5, negative 5 is on line 2, it wasn't on line 1. So this is not the solution. And then if I double check this last one, I have 5 equals 2 times negative 3 plus 11. 2 times negative 3 is negative 6, and negative 6 plus 11 is equal to 5. So this point, negative 3, 5, is on the first line. And let's just double check that it's not on the second line. So 3 times negative 3 is negative 9. 5 times 5 is 25. And negative 9 plus 25 is not going to be negative 10. It is actually positive 16. So that means we were correct when we said that negative 5, 1 is our solution to this system. Okay, looking at the next one. Saving time. So if I look and substitute in, I have 0 plus 3 times 1 equals 9. 0 plus 3 is not going to equal 9. So that means this will not be our solution to the system. Let's jump down to this one. I have negative 3 plus 3 times 4 is equal to 9. Negative 3 plus 12 is equal to 9. And negative 3 plus 12 is actually equal 9. So that means the point negative 3, 4 is on the first line. Let's see about the second line. So I have 4 is equal to negative 3 minus 1, Well, negative 3 minus 1 is actually negative 4. So that means that although that point is on the first line, it is not on the second line. So let's say that we're probably sure that this is going to be the solution, but let's just double check. Maybe they tricked us and they didn't put in a solution. So 3 plus 3 times 2. 3 times 2 is 6. And so we have 9 equals 9. So that means the 0.32 is on the first line. And if we check the second one, I have 2 is equal to 3 minus 1. 3 minus 1 is 2. So since we get 2 equals 2, we know that 3, 2 is our solution to our system. Looking at question 7. And again, I already saved a little bit of time. All right, so let's put in 0.11. So 2 times 1 plus 1 is equal to 3. 2 times 1 is 2. And 2 plus 1 is 3. So that means this point is on the first line. And the second line, I have negative 3 times 1 plus 1. Well, that doesn't even look like that's going to be close. I have negative 3 plus 1. And I know that negative 2 is not equal to positive 12. So this will not be the solution to the system. Here, I have 2 times 3, which is 6, plus negative 3. So 6 minus 3 is actually equal to 3. So that means the 0.3, negative 3 is on the first line. And let's see the second line. So I have negative 3 times negative 3, which is positive 9, plus 3. 9 plus 3 is actually equal to 12. So that means it looks like this is going to be the solution to our system. But let's just double check quick over here. So 2 times 6 is 12, and 12 plus negative 2 is not going to equal 3. So this is not the solution to our system. So that means 3, negative 3 is our solution. And again, if you're really in doubt about your math, you're not really sure, then you want to go through and test all of the points on all of the equations. And last but not least, here I have the first equation, x equals y. So if I look here, if this is my x and this is my y, so I'm looking at the second point, 4 does not equal negative 4. So that means this point is not going to work in that equation. So I can already eliminate 1 right from the start. And so I know I don't really have to test either of these other points because I know that negative 4 equals negative 4, and I know that 4 equals 4. So that means I'm just checking the other equation. So here I have negative 4 is equal to 2 times negative 4. Well, 2 times negative 4 is negative 8. And negative 8 minus 4 is negative 12. So that means this is not going to be the solution to the system. So let's hope this one works. So 4 is my y. 2 times 4, which is my x, minus 4. 2 times 4 is 8. So I have 8 minus 4, which is equal to 4. So 4 equals 4. So that means 4, 4 is the solution to my system of equations. If you have any questions, please reach out to your teacher.